Throughout history, Appalachia has been viewed as a homogeneous society without the cultural, economic, and historical diversity that other regions in America contain. This has led to widely held stereotypes that Appalachia is a completely separate part of American society, impenetrable by distinguished thoughts and ideas from outside the region. Religion in Appalachia played an important role in influencing not only how outsiders view Appalachia, but also in developing Appalachian culture. This research video will discuss how religion played an important role in the social and economic life of Appalachian communities and discuss the validity of many commonly held stereotypes about religion in the mountains. Churches played an economic role in mountain communities. Church was an all-day affair. People would bring goods to trade, thus providing an economic exchange. Pentecostalism led people to desire a simple life. This is depicted in Lee Smith's novel, Saving Grace, in which Virgil Shepherd proclaims that the children may not have new clothes on their back or new shoes on their feet, but they are going to heaven with me. This demonstrates the belief that the saints should remain separate from this world in order to inherit the world to come. Charles MacDonald claims that the people were not here to make a show of themselves or to call attention to themselves. They were here to call attention to Jesus. The people had a commitment to modesty. They did not wear jewelry, even wedding rings, and they made their dresses out of sacks. They gave themselves wholeheartedly in all of their work. This led to an economy in rural Appalachia in which material goods were of literally no significance. People depended on the market for necessities, but they rarely bought clothes or other material items. Religion also led the mountaineers to work hard. Even young children devoted themselves to excessive labor. There was a communal sense of responsibility to help one's neighbors survive, which shaped into a market economy. Americans outside of Appalachia have come to believe that Appalachian churches are very different from other churches in America. In her book, Appalachian Mountain Religion, Deborah Macaulay claims that mountain religion is not so much a counter to mainstream Protestantism as an equally Central American tradition. Many books and movies only contribute to the stereotypes held about people in the mountain region. In Rethinking Zion, Mary Beth Swetnam Matthews claims that Americans in both the popular media and the scholarly press have embraced the notion that Southern Appalachia provides a hospitable home to Christian fundamentalism. Lee Smith is one of the foremost authors of fictional works focused on the region of Appalachia. Some of Smith's novels only add to the common beliefs held by outsiders about the mountain religion. Macaulay claims that in Smith's portrayal, Appalachian churches appear exotic, unrestrained, and oddly peculiar in terms of their relationship to other, more acceptable religious faiths.
Just weeks ago, Mac Wolford, a renowned Pentecostal serpent handler, died after suffering a bite from one of the snakes that he used to show his devotion to God. Wolford's death sent shockwaves through the Appalachian congregations committed to carrying on this practice. The faithful continue to handle venomous snakes.
This is Pastor Andrew Hamblin. He's a 21-year-old serpent-handling pastor at the Tabernacle Church of God in La Follette, Tennessee. He, his wife, and the rest of this congregation practice Christianity much differently than almost all other Christians, using venomous snakes as part of their service. Why? They point to the New Testament, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 16, verse 18. It's stated in part, "They shall take up serpents." Believers like Pastor Hamblin say when God anoints them, they have an obligation to do this, and that God will protect them.
One of the most commonly held stereotypes about religion in Appalachia is the belief that Appalachian Christians participate in serpent handling. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 16, it is said, "They shall take up serpents." These words have inspired worshippers to make deadly snakes a part of worship for 100 years. Snake handling began in Appalachia in the early 1900s. According to Ralph Hood, a professor of religion at the University of Tennessee, snake handling is currently at a low ebb of popularity in the mountains. Hood claims that the perception that those who practice serpent handling are poor and live in rural areas is no longer true. Brian Hardwick claimed in an article for National Geographic that snake handling churches typically gain few converts, yet they are maintained through families whose ancestors have carried on their tradition for generations. In Serpent Handling Believers, Tom Burton explains that unlike the common perception of snake handlers, those who use snakes in worship do so only on special occasions, and it does not occur during every service. Much like other fundamentalists, serpent handlers use snake in worship because they interpret the Bible literally. Revivals became popular in the 19th century as people sought a closer relationship with God as they felt closed off from the rest of American society. Lee Smith depicts a traditional tent revival in Black Mountain Breakdown. A local Pentecostal preacher exhorts the crowd to open their hearts to let Jesus Christ come in. He tells the people that they can only have Jesus enter them by their own actions. There is singing and prayers while people begin their testimonies about how Jesus changed their life. There is a final hymn as the preacher implores the people to give their sins to Jesus to gain everlasting life. The persuasion has the desired effect as people begin to walk towards the altar with their arms outstretched. People are immediately baptized in a plastic swimming pool at the front of the church as they stand in a line waiting to be saved. This shows high emotionalism. Durwood Dunn claims that the mountain people used religion as a way to transcend from their helplessness. Many outsiders believe that Appalachians lack a sense of community, and their religions are extremely biased and unethical. This only contributes to the notion that Appalachia is filled with peculiar people. Deborah McCauley asserts that mountain religion has always been portrayed by the nation's dominant culture as simply marking time in the lives of mountain people until they are finally lifted out of their isolation and poverty. Yet mountain religion only adds to the diverse and resplendent culture of the mountain people. Religion is the center of mountain communities and provides bonding to mountain people. While the majority of mountain people are Christian, their traditions and beliefs are as diverse as the mountain wildflower.